We don't need a fucking photographer. I got a phone, bitch. Wow, I really gotta come up with some new title graphics and some like a different music for my videos now. Welcome to the first fucking video of the Scott the Photographer channel. Scott the truck driver's taken by some other asshole who shaved his beard off. So for those of you who are joining me from my other channel, Scott the Truck Driver, if you're not familiar with that, please check it out. It's my main channel. This is my other channel where I do other shit. Welcome, and I hope you're ready to talk some fucking camera shit. And maybe some adventure shit, maybe some video shit, maybe some exploration shit, maybe some travel shit. All in the name of being creative, all in the name of taking good pictures, all in the name of enjoying your life and being productive and creative at the same time, maybe making a few bucks while you're doing it. It's all possible, but we got to get into how and why. And I have a lot of opinions. First of all, I've only been a photographer for 4 years, and I'm self-taught. And by self-taught, I mean I have studied this shit extensively. Sat through, I can't even tell how many fucking workshops and hours of Photoshop tutorials and Lightroom tutorials and tutorials on how to watch tutorials, and I'm fucking burnt out on it, to be honest with you. I gotta have an apple in my life like a teacher. My apple's filled with coffee. So, there's no shortage of motherfuckers talking about photography on YouTube. I've been watching them for years. And I think it's about time I joined them. And one of the biggest things that I run into as a photographer, one of the things that drives me up a fucking wall, one of the things that is pissing me the fuck off, and one of the reasons I don't do full-time photography and won't do full-time photography are these fucking things. Everybody's a fucking photographer now. Everybody. You see them all day. Hey, dude, look at this shit. Look what I just took a picture of. It was my ball sack. It was fucking beautiful. I had that filter on it and put these bunny ears on my balls. It's getting ridiculous. One of the reasons I'm even able to get clients as a photographer, believe it or not, it's a double-edged sword. It's because people are looking on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever the fuck, and they're seeing the exact same fucking pictures over and over again. You see it all the time. They hold it at the exact same angle. They all have these wide-angle fucking selfie lenses, because God forbid you hold it the other way and you can't actually see yourself while you're doing it, because that, that's not vanity or anything. But yeah, they're all the same. They're holding it at that up angle, which lies a little bit, especially since you're using the wide-angle lens, and it tends to change your proportions to look more flattering. You don't want to shoot from down here, because then it's going to look beautiful, right? So, you're bombarded with the same images every day. The same fucking filter that turns you into a plastic fucking doll on your phone that makes you look nothing like you really look. Now they got it where it makes your eyes fucking bigger or more beautiful or some shit. I can do all of this in Photoshop, by the way. And if I were to hand a client one of those pictures, they'd punch me right in the nuts and say, "What the fuck? You charged me money to make me look like that? I look too plasticky. I look like a porcelain doll. I look like a dead body." There's all kinds of things that make these pictures ridiculous. And you see them all the time. The other thing that sets a photographer apart from a dickhead with a phone The dickhead with the phone is showing you every fucking picture they take. A photographer has enough sense to know that if you take a picture and somebody and they don't look good, you probably should just keep that shit into the fucking delete bin. Alright? Because the client doesn't want to see it. Neither does anybody else, for that matter. But there's people that like take all kinds of pictures with their phone. They're phonographers, or whatever the fuck they call it. Like, they're always, you know, they watch the whole wedding through this. And it kills me, by the way, when I'm hired at a wedding and I see a bunch of people who are like family, like mothers, fathers, uncles, and they're all watching the entire ceremony like this. It's like, how do you fucking see the fucking wedding? Is this how you want your memory to be? Staring at the phone? Or would you rather let the guy you paid to fucking capture the fucking thing do his job and you just enjoy the wedding? You just take the time. I've been storing this rant for a while. Can you tell? And you just take it in. You know, it's the same thing with concerts. There's concerts that ban the shit. Try to go to a Perfect Circle concert and hold your phone up like this. They'll come and smack your fucking penis down. Put you fucking... Get the fuck out of here with your phone. It happened. I was at a Perfect Circle concert and 3 guys next to me were... Even though there's signs on the backs of all the chairs, they tell you on the way in that you will be removed if you have your phone out. Now, I think that's kind of extreme, you know. Like, I'm not saying throw everybody out of their wedding with their phones, but I've done events. Same thing. I'm hired to go to the event. You're supposed to pull me aside whenever you want some fucked up picture. Whenever you want to pose. Whenever you want to do whatever with a picture. You're still whipping this little $800 piece of shit out. Using the selfie side, which is actually the worst lens in this, and the worst sensor with the lower resolution, and it's a big pile of horse shit, all designed for that one position. That one, like, I'm beautiful position. When you got somebody that has the capability to really make you look beautiful out there. You know, this is about almost $4,000 of camera with the current lens I got. I just got the 85 on right now. And it's full frame, which means in low light it's great, which means pictures are sharp, there's no blur, not a lot of noise. I can't tell you how many times I'm in an event that's poorly lit, because most events are, and people are taking blurry ass fucking noisy pictures. And maybe if they fire enough, they'll get one sharp. But I see it all the time. They click, and then they're like, fuck. Click. Fuck. And after a while, your subjects are like, okay, already with the picture. That's why you still need a photographer. All right? The profession's not dying. And you're not going to capture everything with this. Why? Because that's not your job. You're not thinking about, well, can I get this on picture? Can I get that? You're not following the movements of people. You're not paying attention to their interactions. You're not trying to see who's laughing, who's really doing something cool. And if you're not paying attention, because it's not your job to pay attention, you're not going to get that moment on this fucking thing. Yeah, you have it with you all the time, but 9 times out of 10, you're busy doing this and posing instead of capturing candid moments, which in my opinion are the best pictures I take. Are people when they're not paying attention, they're enjoying themselves, and I'm able to fire off at a frame rate that captures the perfect moment. You can do that with these. Almost nobody sets it to burst mode. Almost everybody takes one picture, and then whatever that is, that's what's going on fucking Instagram or Facebook. And they don't take the time to take a bunch of pictures. Because there's a couple things you solve when you do that. Now, some purists are going to be like, if you can't do it in one shot, you're a piece of shit photographer. You have no right to call yourself one. Well, fuck you. Because you know what? We've got plenty of... Sorry, I had to sip. I need my caffeine. It's my last cup for an hour. You know, we have the technology now. We're not film photographers anymore. You can fire off. At a wedding, I can easily take 6,000 pictures. And you're like, what the fuck? Well, I've perfected the art of going through those pictures relatively quickly, getting rid of the outtakes, and keeping the one that's sharp. Because if you're shooting, it allows you to shoot at a reduced shutter speed. You can shoot at a slower shutter if you're firing fucking 10 frames a second or 9 frames a second. You're going to get a sharp picture somewhere in there. Whether or not it's the perfect moment, that's the other debate. But the more pictures you take, the greater you increase your chances of capturing the perfect micro expression, the perfect sharpness, you know. And there's times when I do keep the softer focus ones because the moment was just that good that I didn't want to lose that image. But with the cell phone in the dark fucking room, you're generally at 1/15 of a second, which is blurry as shit. Blurry as shit. You know? Even Hollywood film is shot at 1/48 of a second to preserve the motion blur. So, you know, it's 180-degree shutter speed for you video motherfuckers. But the cell phone is slowing it way down. Now, they've come a long way with image stabilization. They have the computing power to blur your fucking background and part of your head and part of your shoulder and all kinds of other shit because it's fake. To fake that depth of field blurry background, which I don't need to even do any post-production to get. Look at that. Get it in the camera. Imagine that. Instead of having to have a fucking processor that'll fucking take over the world someday and when it figures out it's self-aware in order to fucking get a blurry fucking background that looks just a little too fake. Or the other option's to hold it really close, but then you're not going to see anything but my fucking eye. Those are the two ways to get your blurry background with a phone. And when the light's too low, it's going to up the ISO, especially if you're shooting in auto. Now, I'm talking manual for your capability of getting a noise-free image in the dark. Best case scenario, phones are really only good in good lighting. If the lighting is good and you take advantage and you play to the strengths of this sensor and the strengths of this lens, and they're getting better. You're getting some 50 mil equivalents in phones now. You got dual lenses. This one has a dual lens. So, you know, which one's the wide shot, the other's a little bit more compressed, but you're still with this little itty bitty sensor that the technology is limited. You're not going to get a very good image out of it. And even in its best lighting, when you start to blow up that image, and displays are getting bigger and more resolution, Phil. We're going to have 8K pretty soon. Do you realize how many megapixels it's going to take to fucking use 8K? You know? I mean, 4K is what, 8 megapixels right now? So you'd probably double that. We're looking at least 16 megapixels. And I tell you, when you zoom in on a 1-to-1 on a 16 megapixel image from a phone, which we're up to 20 now, but you're taking a loss there. The other thing is there's noise reduction built into the phone, which softens up that count. You're not getting the perceptual megapixels, even though it's capable of 20 megapixels or 18 megapixels, whatever your phone is good at. So, you know, it's you're limited by what you can do. That's not to say you can't get great images with this. I've used it, and I use it for the images it's good at. And it's really kind of good at, you know, some light landscape work. I still think it's a piece of shit for portraits. I do not like any cell phone portrait I've seen because you can't put the optics necessary to get in that sweet spot. The sweet spot for portraits is 80 millimeter, and not just, you know, the field of view, but you're also losing out on your aperture. You're losing out on the curvature of the lens. It's, you know, these lenses will distort the way you look a hell of a lot more than an 85 millimeter on a full frame will, or 100 millimeter. The 85 to 100, it's a creative preference at that point. And that's why you see photographers, portrait photographers, running around with 85s and 100mm lenses, because they're perfect portrait lenses. And when you're doing your selfie with a wide-angle shitty fucking selfie lens, it's going to look like a wide-angle shitty selfie picture. And we're so used to it now that whenever somebody uses one of these, we're like, holy shit, that picture's fucking beautiful. I can't tell you how many times I've taken a picture that I thought was maybe mediocre for that people were fucking amazed by. And the reason they're amazed is because they spend all their day looking at images that come from this. And that's why you need a photographer. If you want your images to stand out from the crowd, and for people to just like and comment and say, look, your picture's fucking, oh my God, I love this picture. And one of the reasons they love that picture might not even be the best picture. You know, I'm a big critic of my own work. I'm not always happy with what I produce. But, you know, still, my mediocre pictures, the ones I'm not happy with, still get likes and people going, hey, that's a good picture. And the only reason for that, I believe, is because they're used to looking at phone pictures all day. And they're exposed to so many shitty pictures in that process that they're ready for a little sigh of relief when a picture from a real camera that is capable physically of capturing that image. Whereas these, they're trying to make the software do it. They're trying to make it easy for everyone to get those type of images that you get with a pro camera that are impossible physically with this camera. And they're going to do all kinds of shit. They're working on it. You know, they're getting better and better at faking it. You know, but there's just some things you can't fake. You know, you can't light properly with just this. You're stuck with natural or available light. This flash thing, if you got that on your phone and you're taking pictures with that flash, you're an asshole. You don't need to use the flash. All right? It makes everything look like shit. Completely like shit. You're better off lowering your shutter speed, maybe upping your ISO, in dealing with the noise issue, and snapping a shit ton of pictures with this until you get the one you want. Preferably burst mode, or like a time-lapse mode if you got it. Just so you can just keep shooting, you know, until you get the perfect, sharp, and flattering moment. You know, we can get into how to use your phone properly in another video, but the reason that I'm pissed off about it, and that I'm saying this, and I'm very opinionated, as you can tell, is the phones have been interfering with the job for a while. People jumping in the way to get their phone picture. There are people that pass up. You know, I'm ready to take the portrait. They're posing. They're doing the smile. It looks fucking beautiful. The lighting's fucking good because I use bounce flash and all of that. So I'm ready for this perfect picture. I have picture after fucking picture of people posed perfectly doing this, but they're also doing it towards their phone in selfie mode. And they're like, and they're doing all their poses, and some of them look really good. If they did it for the camera, they would be fine. So I make it my mission to quite often steal their picture from a different angle. And the problem with that is sometimes somebody will look at the phone and another person will be like, oh, wait, that's a real camera. And you'll have two people looking in two different directions. It's kind of weird how that happens sometimes. But, you know, I try to be as stealthy as I can about stealing the selfie pictures, but I have to do that, you know, because that's what they're doing. I'm there to capture the story. I'm there to share the day, you know, to share the event or the wedding or the reception or whatever it is that I'm shooting. If that's part of the story is everybody's posing for selfies with their phone, then I capture that. And I can't tell you how many times I've given them one of those pictures after they posted their shitty one, and they're like, oh my God, that's great, even though they're not even looking at the camera. So you need photographers, you do. And if for nothing else, just have someone whose job it is to pay attention to shit and take pictures of it. even if they're not the greatest artist or they're not the greatest portrait photographer or whatever. If you could, all you got's Uncle Bob and he's got a camera and he likes photography and he fancies himself a photographer. He has an Instagram fucking page with landscapes taken with shitty kit lenses all over his fucking, that's still better than a bunch of people capturing your shit with phones. Prices, you can get a full range of price. You got cheap ass motherfuckers, and then you got $5,000 photographers that give you fucking albums and prints and packages and shit. We'll do another video on that another time. But you need photographers, you do, and I think you're really down the line when you're looking to go back and remember shit, and you're looking through your old pictures, and all you got are shitty, blurry, noisy, fucked up, unflattering, crappy phone pictures to sort through, with maybe 2 or 3 gems in that pile of shit. You gotta dig in the shit to get to the really good pictures that you managed to take with the phone. And I'm not saying that those don't exist, but they're buried in a pile of shit so far deep that people aren't willing to look for them. If you post 10 fucking pictures from an event and they all look like shit, and then somewhere in there is the perfect picture that came out good, it was flattering, it captured a good moment, the lighting wasn't too bad, people aren't going to pay attention because they just had to look at all the other crap. So, I'm kind of getting into my peeves about phones a little bit. I have a phone. I use it sometimes when I don't have my camera with me. And yeah, it's a pain in the ass lugging this fucking heavy ass shit around, all right? But what you get in return is you can pay attention to your event. You don't have to worry about whipping your phone out every 5 minutes to take pictures of shit and selfies with people. You can sit and enjoy what's going on and leave it to the guy that's supposed to be paying attention, supposed to be taking pictures of what's going on, supposed to be getting flattering images, supposed to be pulled aside to take your selfie. Why take a selfie when you have somebody that can get the proper angle, the proper distance to get everyone in the picture without them having to put their faces together, to really make images pop and to get the backgrounds good and to compose things? And why not let the person who has studied this, has the gear that you don't own because it's expensive as fuck? Maybe you do own it and then you probably haven't taken the time to use it. I don't know. But for some reason or another, you still go to the phone when you probably have a camera at home that'll do the job better. And, if you need somebody to do that, that's why you need a photographer. You can't cover everything with this, even though it's with you all the time. Now, this is great for that reason, by the way. That's the only edge this has. This is the camera that is always with you. If you learn how to use this properly, which I'm going to do another video on, if you guys like it, this shit. If you learn how to use this properly, you will be able to take awesome pictures with this. But taking awesome pictures with this is very difficult because 9 times out of 10 the lighting sucks, the white balance sucks, you got multiple fucking colors coming in, and the auto white balance in this isn't the greatest, and the noise is horrible because the sensor size is so small. The lens is got lens distortion. Even the 50mm version is not like a real 50mm lens in terms of distortion, in terms of depth of field. You have to fake the depth of field because of that. And it's we're going to get into some beginner shit at some point if you guys want it. Let me know in the comments what you want to see on this channel too in terms of creativity, photography, going forward. But number one, you need a photographer. Whether or not you pay a shit ton for a really, really awesome photographer with a second shooter and like 3 fucking full frame bodies and, assistants and all of that, that's when the price starts skyrocketing. Or whether you got Uncle Bob that you're giving him $50 to bring his D3300 to the fucking wedding and shoot 5 frames a second with maybe 5 focal points for it to fucking try and grab focus, and then he shoots 4 soft pictures and 1 almost sharp because it's got a kit lens. That's your spectrum. But even Uncle Bob, with that shitty little camera that you could go out and buy one of those for like $300 or $400 with the kit lens probably, is going to still take better pictures than this. That's the point. Because A, his job's to take the pictures. He's going to be paying attention, hopefully. You know, that's all part of how good the photographer is. But then you don't have to pull this out every 10 minutes. And every key moment, like when they're doing the kiss the bride thing, everybody watches that kiss the bride moment, almost everybody I see, through their phone. They're staring at the wedding like this, or they're staring at the event like this, or they're staring at the concert like this, or they're staring at the band like this, or like mainly like this. For some reason, we still love the vertical thing. I don't know what the fuck, but this looks better than this in my opinion, but I'm biased that way. I hate vertical shit like that. You know, 16:9 is too narrow for up and down, all right? So, that's my opinion anyway. But, you know, or they're shooting video. Video is a whole other topic I want to talk to. Why you need a videographer instead of everybody just filming shit with their phone. So, hope that was a good introduction to Scott the Photographer and what you can look forward to. There's probably a lot of triggered videos to start out with because I've been keeping this inside. This has been inside my soul. I haven't let this out, and it's coming out, and I'm sorry. So if I triggered anybody that is one of the... Because a lot of you are going to be like, wait a minute, I do that. What the fuck, motherfucker? I do that. I understand. And I did it too. I haven't always been a photographer. I've always been a creative, though. You know, I've always dabbled in video, too, by the way. So I've been doing this shit for a while as far as video goes. I just dropped out of that and went into the photography side. Now I'm back into the video side. Now I'm doing hybrid shit. Doing both. Got people going to pay me to take video, or they're going to pay me to do photography, you know. So there's that. But the reason is they find the value in having somebody whose job it is to pay attention, to get the best possible image with the best possible image quality, and that they like what they see in your work prior to that, and they want to see more of it, and they want you to do it for them. You know, photography's fun when you're out just taking your artsy shit and your landscapes and all of that, but I'm here to tell you, after 4 years of trying, and I do stock photography, which I can comment on, after 4 years of trying, you're not going to make a whole fuck ton of money unless you are like Ansel fucking Adams's distant genetically modified step cousin or something. You're not fucking going to pull that off and make a living with landscapes, street photography, art photography. You know, you have to be really good, and you have to have connections for people to purchase your work. It's not something you just put it up on fucking eBay and somebody buys your image for $300. It's not how it works. You know, there's a lot of middlemen involved in terms of making a living as a landscape photographer, or even as a travel photographer. You got to have somebody that's interested in publishing your pictures. You know, somebody needs to have a desire for your pictures. So 9 times out of 10, if you're a photographer, you're going to deal with clients. And if you don't take clients, you're not going to be able to make a living as a full-time photographer, at least not at first, without a lot. And I do mean a lot of hard work, some of which is very tedious work. If you're ever doing stock photography, you're going to hate keywording with a fucking passion. Keywording sucks. You can hire somebody, but then you're not making as much money as a stock photographer. Not that you're making much to begin with. You can eventually, if you bust your ass for 80 hours a week and you just churn images and you're on your computer fucking 79 to 80% of the time, which leaves you about 20% to fucking be out actually doing what you love, and that's shooting. But the rest of the time you're on a computer and you're editing and you're cleaning it up and you're getting it ready. And it's, trust me, client work is where your money is coming in, you know, and try and get the clients you like. I like doing band work. I like doing businesses, you know, where they want pictures of their business, you know, that kind of stuff. I like doing candid events where I'm just there with the camera taking pictures for them. People sometimes pose for it, that kind of stuff. Those are, for me, are a lot more fun than weddings. Weddings are very stressful, very long days, and you really got to nail it because it's a very important moment and you don't want to miss anything. You know, it depends on what realm of clients you want, and you should definitely push yourself towards that. But overall, the biggest bane to client work right now are these, and they're not going away. You know, my favorite part of these is when I set up I get my 1.5, usually 1 hour. I get 1 hour to get the portraits in a wedding, the portraits that the bride and groom want. While I'm doing that, while I'm setting everyone up, while I'm putting the lighting in place, while I'm getting everything going so that I'm ready to take the portrait and make it look awesome, there's at least 2 motherfuckers standing next to me going, "It's okay?" And I want to look over and go like, "No, dickhead, this is my picture." That's why I started stealing their selfies. But, you know, it is what it is. That's not going to change. Everyone wants to take pictures with their phones. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So as photographers, we got to work around that and make it like a contest, you know. Let's see whose picture comes out better. I know theirs is going to come out first, you know, because they're not going to edit it. It's probably even going on Facebook. It uploads 5 minutes after they take it. They post it right away. Whereas it takes me sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes 2 weeks, depending on how long the shoot was, to get through all the pictures, to get them edited, to get them color corrected, to do some artistic stuff, to do some retouching. You know, there's a lot of work that goes in before the images I deliver come out. But when I come out, they look 10 times better than that little right next to me. So there's that. Occasionally they do manage to get a good picture with their phone, though. So, yeah. But that's not going to change. That doesn't change the fact that the people doing that aren't going to capture all the good moments. They aren't going to give you the most flattering portraits. They aren't going to give you great pictures. They're pretty good at group pictures, so there's that. But other than that, you know, it's a matter of convenience capturing shit with your phone. It should not be the main camera of anything that you're trying to shoot, really. If you know you're going to do something and you want to take pictures of it, don't just bring one of these. Bring a real fucking camera, at the very least. Learn how to use it. If not, throw it in auto and hope for the best. Not always the best option, but even a good camera on auto will do a better job than this. Barely. Preferably with a nice lens on it. But it's a small price to pay for really good pictures of shit. So, and some people think photography is like not a thing. Like it's not something we need, you know. And apparently you're developing an appreciation for the images that have influenced your life, the images that you see on a daily basis that are taken for granted, the really good pictures and portraits that you see in media. You see YouTube videos with pictures all over them. A lot of them are stock photography. I've seen entire YouTube videos with stock photos as the video. Just slideshow, maybe they move it around, they play with the motion a little bit, but it's just a slideshow of stock video and stock photos. I've seen it on several videos, you know, where the YouTuber's talking and just posting stock. They apparently got like a Shutterstock subscription and they just fucking produce content that way. And that's fine. That's why there's a stock photography market. By all means, do that. It's higher demand. That's happening with video now, too. You know, instead of building a big production, you just find clips that are like what you want to show. Yeah. So I'm working on that a little bit, too. Well, so I'm going to go over some stuff. So I want to say thank you to those of you who have come over to Scott the Photographer. Please like and subscribe. If you want to contribute to me, because I'm not going to make any money in advertising on this channel for a while. If you want to, like, you enjoyed this video, you can check out ScottThePhotographer.com, which is my main page. And you can leave a tip in the virtual tip jar. If you're interested in nutrition, lifestyle, or whatnot, you can check out my podcast there. I will be eventually publishing some royalty-free pictures for you to purchase on this channel to help support the channel, and it'll be pictures that we take together where I share how I do it and the process I go through and the things, you know, that's all coming. That's all my plans for this channel. There's going to be some tutorials. There's going to be some out in the world adventures. There's going to be ways of getting out there and really enjoying photography and videography in exciting ways. I'm doing short film projects. I'm doing stuff like that, so that'll come up here. So I really want to share my creative endeavors, which is about 50% of my, livelihood right now, if not 60% right now. With the rest coming from YouTube and my other part-time job. That's kind of how you can support the channel going forward. If you want to see more videos like this and more often, then I can spend more time focusing on this stuff. I would love to just run my 2 channels full time. And in order to do that, unfortunately, ad revenue is not going to get it done, at least not in the early days. So any support that you can give me through ScottThePhotographer.com would be greatly appreciated. The links are in the description. So let me know what you thought. Let me know what you want to see from me going forward on this channel and what you would enjoy, talking about if you are interested in photography, video, creativity, travel, adventure, urbex, that kind of stuff. That's all going to be here. And, because I was trying to crowbar it in my main channel, and that audience is there for health, wellness, lifestyle, that kind of stuff. So this seems like a better fit for the fun videos I want to do. The vloggy videos on the creative side of the house. And then, of course, I'll be posting to minds.com, which I'm on there as Scott the Truck Driver. I've also got a BitChute that I use to host videos to my blog. So if you just go to my blog, you'll see both the videos from my main channel and from here and from off-platform on BitChute or following on Minds. Minds I'm just treating as my only social media platform that I really post my thoughts and things that I come across that I have an opinion about. That all goes there. So subscribe to me on there. Check out my website. Subscribe to me on here. That's a lot of work. I'm sorry I'm asking so much from you. But if you like my shit and you want to keep up with me, that's all you got to do to do it. Or just like and subscribe. This needs a certain amount of subscribers before I can put those glorious ads and start getting 39 cents a video on here. At least that's what it'll be at first. My other channel took almost 3.5 years to build to where I could actually get a little compensation for the time. So it's probably going to be the same here, if not longer. I don't have a catchphrase for my photography shit yet. But I think I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole does apply here because I'm self-taught. Although I do feel like I have some expertise in photography. Just at least on the technical side. The creative side is subjective, but I'd like to think that I'm creative, but I'm probably a bigger critic than you're going to be when I start showing you my pictures and shit. You're already looking at a little bit of my picture behind me. So there's that. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit. And less of this. There's things you don't see when you're busy staring at your phone like this for the whole event, and you're like, you know, put the fucking phone away. If you got a photographer, put the phone away. If you want to put the phone away, get a photographer. Nobody wants to put the phone away. Why'd you even say that? You're a shithead.